All right, here we go, folks. Mark Rogers TV's college football bowl predictions. So we finished up the college football playoffs, kind of in marginal status. Michigan State did not cover 10 against Alabama. They came awfully close. No, they didn't. They lost 38-0. But Clemson covered the game against Oklahoma 3.5. Of course, the Tigers won by 20. Check out our other videos, see how we did. I will post at the end in regards to my record, which has typically been about 65% against the spread in bowl play, 80% in the regular season, straight up. And our goal is to hit 60% against the spread during the regular season and during bowl play, because that would put money in your pocket theoretically. Let's look at the January 1st traditional New Year's Day games. Here we go. Let's run them down. And there's been a few games that I've missed in regards to the videos. That's why you need to follow me on Mark Rogers TV on Twitter. All my predictions are right there. All right, we get started in about 45 minutes with Tennessee and Northwestern in the Outback Bowl. And if you want a preview on the game, I cut one on Saturday Blitz. Look up Saturday Blitz. Did a 3-page column on the Outback Bowl with the Vols and the Wildcats. And I've got the Vols winning the game 23-17. So therefore, I've got the Wildcats covering 10 points. Big 10-point spot for Northwestern. I know that they're going to be challenged athletically in this game by the Vols. Tennessee, way too much speed and athleticism, but Northwestern will hang in there. So the Vols win it, but the Wildcats cover the 10 points. All right, we've got Michigan and Florida, Gators and Wolverines. Florida, much documented the issues on offense. Michigan, defensively, very strong for most of the season, but wore down up front. A lot of attrition along the defensive line for Michigan, lost a number of key players, also just didn't play as well against the better teams down the stretch. So Michigan will give up some points, and Florida will find some offense in this game. I do like the Wolverines to win it. I think they're a more balanced team, better team that played better against better competition this season. Florida, though, covers the 4.5 in a close game. Ohio State, Notre Dame. I teetered back and forth on this one in regards to the Buckeyes blowing out Notre Dame. I don't see that happening. Notre Dame has an extremely talented team. I believe they've got one of the 5 to 8 best teams in the country. Ohio State's going to come in. I believe they're a more physically talented team. That's all there is to it across the board. And Notre Dame has really been hit by injuries the entire year, and Brian Kelly doing a fantastic job of staying with the elite teams in college football despite that attrition. Notre Dame covers 6 points in a really good football game. I know a lot of people looking forward to this one. Buckeyes win, Notre Dame plus the 6 points. We go out to the Rose Bowl, where I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of teams smack each other in the mouth, really get after it, dig in the trenches, and go at it. Stanford into Iowa. Cardinal win the game. I think it's going to be a good competitive game, but I see Stanford pulling away late, covering 6 points. Stanford covers 6 against Iowa at the Rose Bowl. And finally tonight, a difficult one for me because I love the Rebels over Oklahoma State. I don't think the Cowboys are a class team in the country. I think they're a top 25 team. They won 10 consecutive games out of the gate. About 8 or 9 of them were gimmies. They won a couple crucial games there at one point. They faltered down the end. They lost by 35 points to Oklahoma, for example, at home. Oklahoma State, and you know what? I'm almost talking myself out of taking the points with Oklahoma State. Can't believe it's 9. You know what? I think Ole Miss is going to make up for what they did last year at the Peach Bowl, which is basically getting embarrassed. Ole Miss pulls away against Oklahoma State. This may be a rout in the first half as well. Rebels cover 8.5. I don't have it on my sheet, but I've talked myself into it. I think Ole Miss is an extremely good football team, one of the 10 or 12 best in the country. Ole Miss defeats Oklahoma State. They cover 8.5 points against my good judgment about points, but Oklahoma State falters in this one. Rebels win it big. Mark Rogers TV's college football predictions, and if you understand how this works, I'd like to hear from you. Like to get your picks, your opinion on what I've done this season and the current picks right here, again, on Mark Rogers TV.